Meta, the social media behemoth that knows everything about you, from whether you like tea or coffee to whether your favorite pinky toe is on your left or right foot. This is the annual report and other information from the earnings call and such blended into this video so you don't have to read either of them. I'll go over their two main segments before I get into their financials, do a little SWOT analysis, and start going over what management is going to do in 2025. Meta divides their segments into two. First, there's family of apps, and second, Reality Labs. This includes all the things that you know and love Meta for. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and Threads now. They have around 3.35 billion people active every day. That's a 5% bump up compared to last year. And just to be clear, if you have a Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp account, you're counted as a single person. So that's 3.35 billion separate individuals. In a single sentence, their business model is taking money from advertisers to show you ads that relate to your interests. They make $49.63 per user per year doing this. At the price of like one McDonald's Happy Meal in this economy, but when you multiply that by 3.5 billion people, it's a lot of money. That's how they can afford to fund their expensive projects in Reality Labs. What exactly is this? Well, I split it into two main parts. First, one that brings you into a new world where you can experience new things like climbing a mountain and meet people across the world on servers. Think Ready Player One. The second part enhances your daily life. Think of Iron Man's helmet. You can play videos, you can ask it questions, that sort of stuff. The Metaverse and Quest headsets, which fall into the first camp, were hyped up a lot, but haven't exactly lived up to it. I've tried VR before, not the Metaverse, but from what I've experienced, it's not exactly super compelling, and clearly, I'm not alone. The second camp includes the Ray-Ban Meta Glasses collab. You can record video, it's integrated with Meta AI, so you can ask it questions like how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? You can also ask it to play music and do a lot of other cool stuff too. So I am kind of getting interested. But what really excites me is their prototype Orion glasses. Glasses, not a bulky headset. A feature that has really changed the game is their ability to project a screen of sorts onto the actual lens for the glasses. It's some incredibly cool stuff. Check out an MKBHD video if you want to learn more about it, but for right now, they're super expensive and aren't ready yet. However, I see the vision. If in 2, 5, 10 years, there's a super thin pair of glasses when you can project a video call of your friend onto the actual lens and see him in your living room, or while you're on the subway on your way to work, just kind of put the glasses on and watch a YouTube video, then that could be something I could buy. This might also start fixing everyone's poor posture, so I do hope they succeed. It's just not ready yet. But Meta is spending billions of dollars to make this come to life. In 2024, they sank $18 billion into Reality Labs. That's net. $2 billion in revenues and almost $20 billion in expenses. Mark Zuckerberg clearly believes that this is the future, and I do believe him. This also does go to show just how much money the family of apps segment makes to fund all of this. Now that we've gone over their two main segments, let's talk top line. In 2024, they made $165 billion. That's a 22% increase. Looking over the revenues for the last 10 years, the revenues have been increasing by a significant margin almost every year. It speaks to how little capital investment their business really needs to survive. They don't need to set up extensive supply chains like Toyota. All they need you to do is click a few buttons on your phone and they're good. They do require some infrastructure like data centers, but compared to some other companies, their infrastructure required is so much lower. They netted $62.4 billion this year. They kept over 1/3 of the revenues, and that's a year-over-year increase of 60%. Their net income, by the way, is offset by an $18 billion operating loss from Reality Labs. Reality Labs has been eating up more and more, but Meta does believe that these investments will pave the road for technology over the next decade. Again, I can't stress this enough, but Meta can take these massive investments straight on the chin. But if things get dicey, how strong is Meta's balance sheet? Very. They have significant cash reserves. They carry some debt, but their current assets alone are enough to cover their total liabilities. Now let's talk about AI. AI right now can generate text, images, videos, it can translate, it can answer questions, it can edit photos a little. It's nice, but I haven't really found a super useful use case in my personal life. The real question is what can it do as it grows? It could be capable of disease solving, any intense math, maybe new scientific discoveries maybe. It isn't exactly clear what AI can do or if Meta's Llama model is going to be one who actually does all the cool stuff. Also, just take it all with a grain of salt. Nobody can see the future. 6 months from now, it could hit a plateau and then all the investments just go to waste. It could be like the metaverse or like the internet, where it slowly creeps up and then takes over every part of your life. It's honestly any one of them. And if you're looking for a thorough analysis of what AI can do, I quite frankly don't know enough. But I can tell you what Meta is doing with AI right now. As of now, they're just throwing things at the wall to see if they stick. It's in Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Their most heavy usage currently comes from WhatsApp, where people use it one-on-one to ask it questions and for emotional support.
WhatsApp continues to see the strongest Meta AI usage across our family of apps. People there are using it most frequently for information seeking and educational queries, along with emotional support use cases.
Yeah, that's from their actual earnings call, emotional support. And then in terms of usage, it's Facebook and lastly, Instagram. Their models are open source in order to get developers to use their Llama model as sort of a base and maybe become the standard like Android or Windows. Meta itself will be using their AI as a personal assistant of sorts.
I mean, we're very focused on Meta AI as a highly intelligent and personalized assistant.
Maybe too personal. I mean, I can see it saying, sir, in the past 24 hours, you've only picked up your water bottle 18 times and drank 1,504 milliliters of water. Given the fact that you are 5'10", 150.2 pounds, given all of your genetic information, predisposition for eczema, and the fact that you've cried for 14 and a half minutes over the last 3 months, you need 1,623 milliliters for optimal health. Now, jokes aside, it does say that they will only use the information that you share with them, but this is where Meta's reputation really puts them at a disadvantage. Facebook is synonymous with stealing information. Even after the rebrand, the stink is still there. There is a reason why I can make that joke and you aren't immediately calling me some crazy conspiracy theorist. So the benefits have to be big, because even if they say they won't sell your sensitive data to advertisers, which I don't even know if they're even going to say, they aren't exactly a trusted company in the eyes of a consumer. They have no plans of monetizing their AI in 2025.
Your second question in terms of monetizing Meta AI, our initial focus for Meta AI is really about building a great consumer experience. And that's frankly where all of our, energies are kind of directed to right now. There will, I think, be, pretty clear monetization opportunities here over time. Including paid recommendations and including a premium offering, but that's really not where we are focused in terms of the development of Meta AI today.
Their general rule of thumb is to start monetizing once you've reached about 1 billion users. And right now they only have 600 million monthly active users across all their platforms, so rookie numbers. Let's compare their stock performance compared to Google, since they are both in the ads and AI business, Netflix as a content company, and the S&P 500 index as a benchmark. From their humble beginnings at the start of 2015, when Facebook only had a mere 1.6 billion users, they have grown. They did take a tumble after the pandemic ended, but recovered and have beat out Google as of right now and ended up at 822%. This is the same graph, but with a shorter time frame and swapping out Snapchat for Netflix because Snapchat wasn't public for 10 years. It shows that Meta has really cooked all the other platforms. Meta's PE ratio is in the 30 range, which has increased from the mid-20s. It's not super cheap, but not crazy expensive either, as of when I'm recording this. Obviously, not all the information here is going to be up to date when you see it. Regarding return on capital, they do this through dividends or share buybacks. They just started to pay dividends starting last year at 50 cents per share per quarter. This year, they will be increasing that by 5% to 52.5 cents per share per quarter. The other way to return money to shareholders is through share buybacks. They are consistently spending in the tens of billions buying back their own shares. And this does serve another purpose, concentrating ownership. This is a good time to bring up the different classes of shares, A and B. A is on the stock market. The class B shares though, those you can't buy in the NASDAQ. They get equal dividends, but the difference is in voting rights. For every one share of class A, you get 1 vote. There are 2.6 billion class A shares. For every class B share, you get 10 votes. And there are 440 million Class B shares. Zuckerberg controls 392 million Class B shares. So effectively, he has control of the company. Even if Mark Zuckerberg were to fall under that 51% threshold, instantly some clauses would kick in. And I'll let you pause and read them here if you'd like. In other words, His Highness the Almighty Marcus Aurelius Zuckerbergius I, Lord of the Internet, Commander of the Web, will always be in charge of Meta. Now, while that is a potentially negative thing, it does have some benefits that you should be aware of. It allows Mr. Zuckerberg to take these long-term bets without worrying about getting fired by investors for having a bad quarter. While executives at other companies may struggle to invest billions in decade-long projects, he'll be fine. So while it does have some risks, it also has benefits, and you should be aware of both of them. Now then, let's move on to a SWOT analysis, starting off with strengths. First off, they are very profitable. Their net income has increased by around 20 billion this year, and the year before that, all this while funding Reality Labs again. Next, quitting social media is next to impossible. We're all probably going to be addicted to it until the day we die. They can reach a group of consumers who are very hard to reach and charge advertisers a pretty penny for that privilege. Weaknesses wise, their ownership structure is something you should be aware of. What if Mark were to turn into a supervillain? Think of all the damage he could cause. If the Reality Labs investments don't pan out, that could be a waste of close to $100 billion. A lot of money. Meta pays fines for violating privacy laws. I'm not putting this in threats because right now, it's basically their natural state at this point. In the past, they have paid fines. In the present, they pay fines. And in the future, they will pay fines. Normally, I would edit that out because responsible fortune tellers don't exactly go out and reveal the future to everyone because it could cause a lot of chaos. But this time, since everyone knows it, I'll leave it in. Reputation. While using data has made them a lot of money, it has also destroyed their reputation. There will likely be a lot of hesitation to buy their products, even if their headsets are so much better, because people just don't think of them as a trusted brand. There's also another major player in the arena now, so they gotta be on their P's and Q's. Opportunities. If headsets do become the new smartphone, Meta will have a huge edge over their competition. They bought Oculus in 2014, and they have been working at this for over a decade. AI. While Meta is no slouch in this arena and ChatGPT is in first place at the moment, being open source can give them a massive edge over the competition. At the same time, it may not be ChatGPT, Meta AI, or any other of the big companies leading the charge, and instead a smaller company. I mean, we did see that possibility with DeepSeek. Threats, privacy laws. The reason why Meta can spend this much money in AI, VR, and AR is because they are making a lot of cash. Over 50% operating margins. If the current laws become stricter, they won't be as profitable. You might have also been hearing a lot about Section 230 being repealed in the US, and if that happens, there will be a lot of chaos. Although at the same time, there will probably be something to replace it. Still, chaos, at least for a little while. Social media might get banned or severely restricted for the youth, which is bad for income, but good for society, because social media is definitely addicting, in my opinion at least. Breakup pressure. Meta could still be forced to break up. While there is new competition with TikTok, a lot of people still view Meta as a monopoly. Linked to that is the relationship with the White House. And while right now it does appear to be good, and I promise you I am not trying to get political, but working with and under this administration doesn't exactly give you tenure. The relationship could sour at any point and Meta could face its wrath. I did mention this in the AI section, but if it doesn't play out or live up to the hype, it's going to be a giant waste of money. Same with the glasses. Alright, we've gone over their past and present, but what does their future potentially have in store for us? Remember, I can't see the future. If I did, I wouldn't be here. These are all based off statements that Meta's made, so they could change at any point depending on the circumstances. First, headcount. While they have announced layoffs, they will also be onboarding some more people in 2025. 90% of that new headcount is going to go to R&D, compliance, Reality Labs, infrastructure like data centers, and monetization. In 2025, they also intend on making capital expenditures between $60 and $65 billion to support their core business and AI efforts. They're trying to make AI more personalized, a real assistant who can help you out when you need them. Community notes, an alternative to fact-checking, will be phased in the US starting early this year. Well, that's Meta, the company that connects you to the world and you to your phone for at least 6 hours a day. Like, sub, and goodbye, people.